Good morning, Banter fam. Happy Thursday on this wild, windy, nearly end of the week. It is stormy out there. It is definitely a mood. I've only just woke up a little while ago and I was like, oh, close the curtains back again. There is no sunshine. But hopefully we can bring some sunshine for you this morning. Pull up with your morning coffee. Join our banter session. We have got lots to yarn about this morning. And I hope you are all well, good. Who's on this morning? Let us know. And yeah, how are we, big bro?
Yeah, really good. I've just had a look at all my tabs up there. I've obviously been going down some rabbit holes this morning as I was getting ready for the banter, and now I've got like 7 tabs up. Whether I've got the meta science, I've got Facebook investing, I've got the Gabby Brian Lundry trial thing. They found a body, and oh man, it's been nuts this morning.
Wow, you went on some deep Google searches this morning.
I went swimming today.
You went for a swim?
Well, no, like I went swimming through the metaverse infancy.
Oh yes, we were just talking offline about that world, the virtual world that is about to explode, and probably, like I said, I was like, it's going to be in 10 years. I reckon it's going to be 2 to 3 now.
So much quicker.
Yeah. And you did your research. Are you mind blown?
Yeah. So it's the way that I envisage this is that it's like that movie Ready Player One.
Oh, I haven't seen that, but I want.
Have you not seen that?
Nah.
Watch. It's a great movie. It's funny. It's not violent or anything like that. So essentially, the concept is that you meet this guy who's a young teenage kid.
Yeah.
And he's in this trailer park, and he goes to his like little hideout, and he puts on his VR goggles, and he goes to the Oasis, the metaverse. Goes to the Oasis. So he morphs in, he's got his own avatar, he can change the way he looks and does things. And then he can explore the metaverse or the Oasis, and he can go to like planets that are just for casinos. He can go climb Mount Everest with Batman. He can do whatever. And it's literally this huge virtual world.
Oh.
And you understand why it was developed and his friends and stuff. So and he lives his life through it.
So, and what is it called? What is it? Something Player One.
Yeah, Ready Player One.
Ready Player One. Definitely going to have to give that a watch after the new announcements and what's going on in the internet world, right?
I think you'll be like, metaverse.
Yeah, definitely.
It's exactly what I think. Everything I've read about it and what you talk to me about, that's what I see.
It's crazy, eh? Like, what I crack up at, and I think this is why there are so many conspiracy theorists, because when movies were produced and they were put in front of us, you're like, that'd never happen. It's happened. Or it happens similar to that. And then you're like, oh God, is it? And it just makes you ask the questions, and then that's when you can kind of go down that rabbit hole, and then you're like, oh my God, no.
Yeah.
Damn. I was gonna say, hope everyone's good this morning. What have we got on for our banter session this morning, bro?
All right, so we're going to talk a little bit around what are your plans essentially to the end of the year. So what do you want to focus on? What are you going to look at trying to achieve? And then we're going to delve into what's changed for you in lockdown. So, is it financially, emotionally, spiritually, physically, mentally, whatever? What have you developed and changed? And I was actually talking to Mo offline about some things that she's been doing in her 75 hard challenge that's piqued my interest probably over the last 10 days. And from there I've started to do research and understand a few things, and and then I delved into my habit of online shopping to make it all feel better. So we'll talk about that as well.
No, that's good. No, and then so going on that, what you want to achieve by the end of the year, like, is that like, for me, because I'm doing the 75, and it's like, that's not going to be like, I think 10th of November is our 75th day. Mm-hmm. But we talked about it last week about are we still going to carry on? How are we going to celebrate when it finishes? And then what happens when we get to the end of it? And like, it's been on my mind of going, I don't want it to end, because I was like the habits that we've what's the word? The habits that we have been trying to inhabit for ourselves are part of my daily practice now. So I want to carry those things on, but I do want to implement things to other things as well. So if I was to lead off with that, I'd probably go carry on with my, like, some of the things in my 75, add a few more things. So like cold water immersion, I do want to get into that. Yeah, I know it is scary, but went to the waterfall on Tuesday for my birthday, and just I can already feel the mind power, if that makes sense, or the strength. I feel like I'm pretty strong, but you put your feet in cold water and you're like, oh, this is cold, I don't want to go. You go straight back to your comfort zone. So I feel like there's another barrier there for me to explore, to even build that strength even more. So hence the reason the cold water immersion. And I've read heaps of things on it as well, and I just haven't committed to it. So something like that towards the end of the year is going to be one for me. Finish my creative media certificate. I hopefully get that at the end of December. That will be a really good one for me. And yeah, that's what I've kind of gauged with. Carry on with the journaling, carrying on with the 1-to-1 ratio. What you see here and what you see in real life is my goal ultimately, through and through. And that's like really hard. Like, some people see me on Instagram or see me on the Banter and they're like, oh, you're so positive and you're so like happy and you're so, but like, I also am like that when you see me as well. I'm going to give you the same energy, but also you can catch me on a bad day too, and so maintaining that 1-to-1 ratio is a huge, that's like a assignment for myself that not many people even often think about, I don't think, because sometimes you'd like to go on the internet and you get that feeling and it makes you feel good, and then but when you put your phone down, you don't feel good, if that makes sense. It's a big tangent, and we can touch on it later on, but that's one that's been at the forefront of my mind. But yeah, what about you, bro? What are the goals that you want to achieve by the end of the year?
Yeah, so I've kind of been thinking about the 75 hard, probably a little bit, probably the last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
and it's like, well, what's next? So the way that I'm approaching it is that there is obviously an end state to the challenge, but there's not an end state to what I want to do and what I've built. So the intent is for those 5 things to now become part of my lexicon. It's like as important as brushing my teeth, as important as drinking my water and stuff like that. So those 5 things that I've done will just gravitate into my day-to-day life. What I intend to do then is to build 1 or 2 extra things until I get them ingrained into me, and then build on top of that. But it's not like but there might not necessarily be big things. There might just be little things, right? But what it does is it's what I've learned with this is that it's instilled a sense of commitment right through without missing it. And so I've noticed a huge difference in a lot of the things. There's still some things I need to work on, but I've noticed some real positives. And the next thing that I'm going to really commit to is the journaling. So I was talking to Mo offline, right? So she's been journaling and she's been telling me some of the stuff, and I've been really impressed sort of behind the scenes about what she's been doing, what you've been doing.
Yeah.
And so what I started to do is that the coaches brought me this the tiniest moleskin. Everyone knows I usually use moleskin A5 pages, right? And I just had to do all my notes. They brought me this one that's about, I don't know, half the size of my hand. It's fucking tiny. And so what I've been doing is I've been goal setting every day and kind of journaling my training. So every day I write, right before training, I write what I want to achieve out of it. And at the end of it, I write, have I achieved it? What can I work on? Just real simple, basic stuff.
Yeah.
But what I've really noticed is a huge shift in the way that I approach it. So that I'm not just going for training, I'm going because I want to hit this and I want to do this. And it's really helped make me I think, become better physically,
Mm.
maybe a little bit mentally, but physically. And so, but I want to bring that now into the holistic thing, into my sort of everyday thing. And that's why I bought and like I said at the start, I've succumbed to my online shopping addiction, and I brought the Mindful Journal, right, which is a UK based journal. I could probably buy it in New Zealand, really, but and it's a journal for men. And what it does is it helps us unravel certain layers, and using whatever techniques that they've developed for this journal. And we do these day-to-day activities, and you do it at the start. Talks a lot of stuff about gratitude, what you're thankful for, and stuff like that. But it does in a little bit of weightless graphs and stuff. So that's what I'm going to do.
That's on. And I honestly think you will benefit from it. You don't realize how much because like when you journal, it's like you're supposed to have this structure, but I've just been writing what's at the forefront of my mind, or the forefront of my emotions, or the feelings that I have. And I feel like for you, as simple as it is, the intent of writing down what you want to achieve in a workout subconsciously has so much power you don't even realize.
It has. It's unbelievable.
And then when you go to write if you achieved it or not achieved it, you're going to go, why? You're going to ask those questions, and it's asking those questions to yourself to go to figure it out yourself without being just in a slump, being like, why didn't I get that lift? You know what I mean? Oh, it's because I didn't do my extras last week. Well, no, like, it is making those small adjustments. And I'm actually really stoked that you can, say 10 days ago, you could be like, oh, that must be implementing something good for her. Wonder what that would do for me. And you've just taken the approach of how you can use it for yourself. And it is like, in this world, we all have tools. We all have special tools for ourselves that not many people share. And if we can all share those little bits, and everyone grasps the bits that they can take from each and every one and apply it to how they want to apply it, not be like necessarily like, I want to be like Chief or I want to be like Mo, but be like, how can I apply what they do into my life for me? I think that's huge. And like, it's honestly just, it's dope. Like that's real life shit. Like, so I'm stoked on that for you, bro. And
it's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah.
It's like I was talking to someone the other day, one of the people in the classes, and they were talking about how they've watched us do the 75 hard challenge, and it's not like they've jumped on it, but what they've started to do is that they've decided to make little changes in their lives. Right. And it could be as simple as like, making sure I have 3 meals a day. Because generally I miss lunch or whatever. And it's those little things. And that's what, the ability to be able to use people's strengths to enhance yours is so, it's pretty cool. Like, and that, and that's not the only thing I've picked up from other people. But yours is the first one that's what I'm going to incorporate a lot on. It will definitely be the diary and the journaling.
That is so cool. Doc just put here, living in the moment and finding time to be more mindful has been a huge focus, the 75 hard challenge. And even in that doesn't take much. You just have to be mindful of what that is and how you want to achieve that. Trap, you can jump on that bandwagon, sitter. I'm just stoked that we can talk about these goals, and then we can keep each other accountable for them, and then on the journey of it, we're all a part of it, if that makes sense. Like that, there's been highs, there's been lows, it's been not all great and roses and flowers and rainbows. Like, it's been hard, but at the same time, I'm like, on the days that I found it hard, and me, I was talking about it last week, how it's been the community or the people that are just like, you've got this, that get me through on the days that you can't, and then you go, whoa, and then on the days that you are getting through, you're like, whoa, look at how strong I've gotten from that moment. It's really powerful. I was gonna say, what are the other changes that you have noticed in lockdown without the 75? what are some challenges that you have all noticed about yourself during this lockdown? Do you want to open up with that, bro?
I did find I can definitely save money. Like, you know, I've always been in this place, you know, since I opened the business. Oh, I've just got to pay all these bills off, and then we'll look at, and then I'll get, you know, and that's not great practice. But what I've noticed is that I can actually still put cash away for whatever reason, you know, and it's been really pleasant. Like, so I've opened up a sub account, and every week money transfers into it, and I don't even notice it. And the other day I looked at it and I was like, oh, shit, look at that.
Yeah.
Having me a meme party. But like, it's, you know, like, but it was really nice. And I was like, you know, shit, if I've done this for like 2 months now, if I did that for the whole year, that's like $15,000 to $20,000.
Yeah.
That I've saved and I've put away. Fuck, if I could put that, and then I could put half of that into the stocks, another half into, you know, maybe some kids funds, and then use the other bit to then save and then continue on. In 5 years, you know, I could probably buy 2 or 3 properties. I could actually do this, or, you know, so it's something that I've always wanted to do, never done it because I've been too pussy to do it.
Yeah.
This has helped me get into the habit of doing it.
Wow.
And it's been really amazing to see. And there's a sense of accomplishment, right? And for those that have been in finance, and I look to people like Garnham and that who've been there and who I consider really successful, I get an understanding of what they've done, and I'm like, now that's what I'm pushing for. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's cool when you can make those, like you said, you were a pussy when, like, in the real world, or like not in lockdown, but then like it was something like this, and then you just implementing it and following through, like that's the win, right? Changes over lockdown that I've noticed, man, a lot of things are repetitive. Well, this is the longest that we've been locked down as well, eh? I think for me, it's made me explore what is not normal even more, if that makes sense. And what it's going to be like in a year, 2 years time, rather than in the now. It's just made me look at it from a different angle, a different set of eyes. And then the things I've noticed are just like, I guess the information, the stuff that we're exposed to and what we can absorb. I feel like I do practice most of the things all the time anyway. I'd like to set a little goal to be in an awesome junior role for a company that's just making awesome content. And I reckon that's possible. Like, I totally do. I'm just pussyfooting around and just be like, that's the real world. This is lockdown. I can do it from here. But like, no, it's I think lockdown has been more, it's been good and bad, and like great and amazing, but like not so much as well. But it's like, more accepting of everyone. I feel like the close circle, or our close circle, is more needy for each other, I feel, because we don't have that human interaction when you just go to work or when you go to school, or you see your mates on the weekend. Like, I feel like that connection within my circle has grown tighter because of the neediness for each other. Those are things that I've noticed. People are more open to accepting of each other now. Yes, it feels like we are all feeling vulnerable as wanting to help each other. 100%. And like, why was it not like that before? That's the part that I'm like, that's the part that I don't understand sometimes. And it's going back to those things that I just said earlier. Like, you have the strength to be out. You have a tool that's real powerful for yourself. And you can share that. But most people, I feel like, I'm going to keep this for myself because this is all mine, and like, but being vulnerable. And then you look at that person that's gone, I've got all this, and then they're in lockdown going, I've got all this to myself, but I've got no one to share it with.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, then it becomes a little bit of turmoil for them because they're going, I don't have that inner circle. I don't have those people reaching out to be needy for me. You know what I mean? I feel like that type of mindset of when people were like, I've got the tools for me, the ones that are, I feel, finding it harder because they've got no one to share it with. But Look at Lucy's, except for Karen, who went to Fair Go yesterday.
Hey, you would too. Thank you very much, young lady. You would too. I tell you what, I got ripped in class last night. Everyone was like, "Oh, what a guy! Went to Fair Go. Who are you?"
Oh,
That's
God.
what it's there for. Like, hey man, you've got my package for 3 months. I can't
Very
get it.
true.
You won't reply to my messages. Mofar, I'm gonna Fair Go and Karen your ass.
Yep. Full stop. Boom.
Full stop. Press the red button. Blow that shit up. You front on it now.
Oh, gosh,
then,
this is great.
You know, and I guarantee, Lucy, you'll be one of the first people to do it. You'll be like, man, Chief, I'm totally going to do it now. You'll be right in my coattails.
I think I was smiling all morning, just cracking up. I think I had to go back and watch the comments because I was just like, this was too. We had 129 comments yesterday on that just because you were getting rinsed so hard.
Yeah, I was getting slaughtered, and then it didn't stop. They were just like Faith and Vic were just like, "Bro, who is that guy?" And they just tore me apart. And then I think Jay Curtis was the only one that stuck up for me. Everyone else just threw me under the bus. Like, what a guy, what a Karen. I think it's Steve, isn't it the wording for the guy is called a Steve? I don't know. But yeah. I think that's the male version is Steve. So there's Karens and Steves. Yeah. There you go.
That is.
I am a Steve.
That is too freaking good. Oh gosh, what else have we got? Number one rule.
Thanks, Jay. You're the man, bro. That's why I've always liked you. That Garnham fella's changed. But yeah, the weather's going to look terrible for the next few days. So, I'm actually going to probably enjoy a movie or two. I think that's going to be my big thing. I'm going to sit down with feet up and enjoy a flick for a couple of hours. And then,
hey, how well impressed are you with all the entries that have entered for the competition?
Yeah. Well, I think because once we started sharing them, I think some people kind of got the idea of the
the thing was
creativity, and I'm really enjoying the Tom Brady one was pretty good yesterday. Something that's not so in vogue for a lot of people, but you kind of I get that. So interesting to see some a couple of different movements and things like that. So a couple more days. Saturday we're going to look at doing it. I think we've got about 25 entries in at the moment. So
nice team. Get your entries in there. So you can win yourself a dumbbell for your home.
Mate. You know, I mean, Lucy will probably need a 1 kilo dumbbell, but everyone else, though, you go for it, man. You can get a 20 kilo dumbbell or whatever. You can jam into it.
Oh God, that's good. How will classes still go in the rain if it is raining?
Yeah. The classes will still go on. You know, for those who were there for our very first one. That day when it absolutely pissed down and we all looked like drowned rats, it'll still go on. It'll just mean that that's why I put the machines out yesterday, because I kind of felt like it'd probably be the last day we could have them for a while. So it'll be more of a dumbbell run, maybe a wall walk, body weight type sort of setup.
Right. Did I see that you added more classes? Or did I see there was a
question box Saturday.
You put a question box out?
Yeah, 8 a.m. Saturday class as well. So there was a little bit of feedback that people were trying to get into the weekend classes couldn't. So what we're going to do is that we're going to trial a 7 a.m. and an 8 a.m. So 2 classes back to back on a Saturday. Yeah. If we get the numbers and it's consistent, then we'll keep it. If not, and it's pretty low, we'll can it. So this week will be your opportunity to make me keep that on. So we won't do it for Sunday just yet until we see consistency on the Saturday, and then we'll look for the Sunday.
Oh, awesome. Oh, well, that's what you can do in the weekend if you've got nothing else planned, fam. So I'm not even going to take a run. Even if she wins, she might complain to Fair Go because it's not going to take 10 months to get there.
Totally. She'd be like, no, this guy that complained to you, I'm going to complain about that guy to Fair Go.
Oh, my God. So, you know how I've got another add-on to the baby story. Mum sent me another message yesterday and was like, oh, I forgot some important information. It's like, how do you forget this? No, jokes, Mum. Jokes. She goes, so I obviously told you guys about how I was 2 weeks overdue. 9 hours in labor, born at 6:45 p.m. National Women's Hospital. Then she goes, Morena, there was a bit that I didn't share about your entrance, and that was before you entered the world. While I was pushing you out, I pushed out a poo, which I was really embarrassed about, as there were 2 training doctors in the room. Within 30 seconds, it was all cleaned up, and your entrance was here. I was like, oh, is that why I'm a little shit?
Yeah.
No
Is that why I'm so brown? Yeah.
Had a little turd before me. Jesus.
Yeah.
That was a little add-on that I was having quite the giggle about yesterday. You're actually adopted. You got my papers? No, yeah. So I was having a good old giggle about that. And now that you've like mentioned it, I'm like, I want to know everyone's birth story. I'm like,
yeah, it's such a cool thing. Like, you know, so I tell the kids on the eve of their birthday, this is your birth story. And so, you know, because it's those little traditions, right? And I think it's super important from a family perspective that grows and, you know, evolves. And you know, you remember certain things in your childhood that it's epic. You know, roadies with your family to go to a holiday batch. So Sol's really happy because he's on Roblox. You know, going to the family batch, you know, up at Mitty, you know, and there's, you know, it's a rough little house, and you play cards, and you eat lollies, and there's the fucking, what do you call it, the long drop, and the frogs, and you know, all that sort of stuff. You know, I'm like, man, that's what I miss, and that's what we're trying to bring back with the kids. So
yeah, gosh, that is good. I might wrap us up for quote of the day. I might let someone pick our number this morning. Let's go. First one to pick a number between 56 and 70, but it can't be 58 or 66.
It's going 68.
Yes, there is a 68, but I want to see if someone else can.
Oh, sorry.
Go. Someone pick a number.
61.
61 for you, Doc. Oh, nice, easy one for me. I was like, please don't pick a long one. Please don't pick a long one. Number 61, nice and short. The best way to succeed is to double your failure rate. The best way to succeed is to double your failure rate. Because that's where all the lessons are, right?
They are.
And getting back up after you have, that's where it's at. Anyways, it is the day before Friday. That means it's almost the weekend. I hope that everyone is well for this rainy weather. I hope the kids are good. I hope that you get your work done. And whatever movie you watch, bro, I hope it's good.
It's going to be violent, I can tell you that.
Yeah. I'm not too sure what I'll put up a post later on. I know we don't know if we're going to have an evening banter session for our Friday session or a morning one, or we'll have both. We'll just have to suss out the plans between us, and then we'll go from there. Because I reckon a roasting session or a joking session will be a good way to get some belly laughs in for the start of the weekend. And I mean, all the announcements that have been confusing everyone, it will just be a little good way to de-stress and jump on. So that's us for this morning, Banter fam. I hope you all have a magical day. I hope that you are kind to yourself. We're day 51 of our 75. So we are nearly there. We are nearly there.
Back end.
Yeah, but definitely on the back end now. It's almost like the war part where you're like now just dragging yourself across, but you're still holding on there. Mindset's still 100. But nah, that's me. Have a good day, fam.